Hello everybody, it's Ms. Kid. Remember to subscribe. And remember to click that like button. Hello and welcome back to Ms. Kid. Today we will be doing a Titanic video, and we will be going into Roblox Titanic and taking a tour of the Roblox Titanic. We will also be looking at two very important people on the Titanic. The first one is the richest guy on the Titanic. The second one is one with the nickname The Unsinkable. Today's plan is to start with the introduction. Next will be to take a small Roblox Titanic tour of just the intro, going through the ship's doors and to get the first glance at Roblox Titanic, which I will be doing a lot of role plays of Titanic and a lot of other stuff in it. You'll be seeing a lot more of Roblox Titanic than the tour. Then we will study two very important people on the Titanic: John Jacob Astor, who is the richest man aboard the Titanic, and Margaret Brown, who carried the nickname The Unsinkable. Have fun. Have you ever wondered what it would feel like if you were on the real Titanic? Well, as we all know, that's not ever going to happen. But the closest you could get is in VR or on a video game on your iPad or laptop or phone. And Roblox Titanic is really good for trying to experience this virtually, though of course it does not feel like even like 1% as much as you feel if you're on the real Titanic. But it teaches you a lot. The first time I ever played, I learned a lot more from when I first tried it, and then when I went out of the game, I learned so much, and this is one of the reasons I became obsessed with Titanic. So I definitely give it a shot, and today later we're going to do a tour of the Roblox Titanic. So continue to watch and you can see how cool it really is, though you don't really see the sinking. You'll see tons of sinking and role playing in my other videos, but this one just shows the tour. But definitely try it out. It has everything, and it has what's going on the top while you're experiencing this virtually, and you have to try and survive. So definitely give this a shot, and it definitely teaches you a lot. Welcome to Roblox Titanic. In this video I have a helper. We're Game's Hand. Let's start off in the boiler room for this short intro tour to Roblox Titanic. We will have many more videos on Roblox Titanic, including roleplays. This is the boiler room. They would use shovels to pick up the coal and put them in the dampers. They would climb up here and all the way up, like an obby to get up there, but when they got up there, they'd go to a funnel, which is one of those chimney things, and they'd put it in. Let's go see Weird Game's Hand when she gets up there. Alright, so this is, you get to third class when you come up from here. This is the third class hallway. Now there's another door to the boiler room. Let's go straight to see Weird Game's Hand on the funnel. If you haven't played Roblox Titanic, I recommend it. It is very fun for all those Titanic fans, and I think you'd enjoy it. Weird Game's Hand has crawled up to the funnel. Alright. So, there she is, walking up there, and that's how many of the boiler workers would do it. Okay, next let's take a look at the bridge. This is where the captain would steer. And inside here was the steering wheel and a desk with blueprints on it. Over there is the bow, and there's a staircase down to where we just were, the third class area, which I'll show you once more. The benches where third class would hang out, and they would dance sometimes over here, which Weird Games Hand is showing. Now, let's go down to the stern. It's probably going to start sinking, but we can just ignore that because I will just finish the tour, and in other videos we'll see it actually sink, and we'll try to survive, but I'll show you the correct way to survive on Roblox Titanic. So they'd have all the lifeboats, and as most of the people know, that was the problem. So the Titanic is sinking. Well, it's about to hit the iceberg, but just ignore that. So over here is like the funnels and like the walk that people would take to get all the way around. It'd be like a real workout to go around the ship. So over there is the second class staircase, and right there is the second class staircase, and over here is the stern, and more benches, and on the stern they would like hang out there, read books maybe, and there'd be a lot of hanging out there because of the benches. Okay, next I'm going to show you the grand staircase and we'll wrap up the tour. There we are, we're ending, but yes, that's part of getting intro to Roblox Titanic. Okay, let's go straight to the grand stairwell. And there is Weird Games Hand. She's falling right there. Oh. Let's just reset the character and go straight to the first class. Just go straight to the grand stairwell. We'll see first class there. Oh, right. So this is the grand stairwell, one of the most famous parts of the Titanic. They make replicas in museums and stuff. Over here is the clock, where is a very famous part of the movie. Well, not that famous, but anyway. Let's just go into the first class hallway, and there's rooms and stuff. And afterwards, I think that's going to wrap up for the intro, but you'll be seeing a lot more Roblox Titanic and a lot more of Weird Games Hand. So thank you for watching this part, and go and continue the video with all the characters that are very important to the Titanic. John Jacob Astor was the richest man aboard the Titanic. Mr. Astor was an American business magnate, real estate developer, investor, writer, lieutenant colonel in the Spanish-American War, and a prominent member of the Astor family. Mr. Astor went aboard the Titanic with his wife, Madeline Talmadge Force, as first-class passengers. When Titanic sunk, Astor attempted to get on a lifeboat, but he couldn't, for he was a man. Later, he placed his wife in the final lifeboat, then ordered Ida Sophia Hippach and her 17-year-old daughter, John Gertrude, to take the final two places before the boat set sail. He was last seen smoking a cigarette and soon died when the Titanic's stern took the last plunge. Later, on April 22, his body was recovered. Astor is identified by the initials sewn on the label of his jacket. Astor was worth $87 million when he died. Margaret Brown, also known as the unsinkable Molly Brown, was an American socialite and philanthropist. After hearing the news that her eldest grandchild, Lawrence Palmer Brown Jr., was seriously ill, she immediately booked her passage on the first available liner leaving for New York, the RMS Titanic. When Titanic sunk on April 15, 1912, she helped others board lifeboats, but she was finally persuaded to leave the ship in lifeboat number 6. She urged Quartermaster Robert Hitchens, the crewman in charge of Lifeboat 6, to go back for others. Hitchens was fearful that if they went back, the lifeboat would either be pulled down due to suction or the people in the water would swamp the boat in an effort to get in. After several attempts to urge Hitchens to turn back, Brown threatened to throw the crewmen overboard. Sources vary as to whether the boat went back and if they found anyone alive. Brown's efforts sealed her a place in history, regardless. She was then rescued by the RMS Carpathia, and Brown proceeded to organize a survivors committee with other first-class survivors. The committee worked to secure basic necessities for the second and third-class survivors, and even provided informal counseling. Molly Brown also had a musical and film named after her.